Hello everyone, I'm Renato de Castro, Global Ambassador for TM Forum Smart City. And today we are here in Barcelona directly with Professor Joaquin Rodriguez. He's one professor at the Universidad Autónoma de Barcelona, and he's also the coordinator for leading cities in Barcelona. And they are starting a very nice project. Actually, the project has already started, but they are following very closely a project about open data in Barcelona. And this will be the topic of our chat today. So, well, thank you very much to be with us. And we have just launched our app for benchmarking, TM4 benchmarking for smart cities. And definitely, open data is it's a hot topic in smart city, right? How do you see these, and how are you treating this topic here in Barcelona?
So, first of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being with you and all your community of followers. Here in Barcelona, I believe, like in all cities where smart projects are developed for the last year, open data is one of the hot topics for all of us. So, through leading cities and in collaboration with other institutions, we have been developing an idea of a public bank of data or a data broker. It's the two terms that normally we are referring to it, and the idea basically is to imitate the concept of public banks that have grown up in the last centuries, and now it has been a little bit forgotten, in order to offer an alternative for private companies, public administration and citizens to have the possibility to access to factual data. One of the biggest issues that we are facing from in the 2.0 web and in the debates related with news, availability of data, it's the quality of this data. So we have been working in order to guarantee fair access, but especially in order to guarantee quality and real data.
Because data, we are hearing much more now this idea that the data is the new oil, right? I mean, we are just starting with data. If you think about IoT and all the possibilities that will come in the future, all the quantity of data that will come in the future, it will be really an issue that cities can benefit from this, right?
Yeah, it's a real challenge because it has these two phases. It's a huge opportunity, but it also represents huge risk. We are talking about risk for social cohesion. We are talking about risk for the democratic performance. We have to take into account that nowadays there have been a lot of work in relation about how data, internet and the IoT is affecting our approach to life. For example, it's all the work of Eli Preisser about the filter bubble that study how the perform of data and how we access to them, they are conditioning and even determining our approach to reality, our approach to different communities, and it's behind some kind of process. For example, we can talk about radicalization through internet. We are seeing it in communities of younger newcomers to Europe, and we are also having this problem, and it's very visible nowadays in the US with all this trend of the alternative facts or alternative data. So we as universities, as institutions, we especially as leading cities, as a non-profit foundation working for cohesion in the heart of smart cities, it's a real deal for us, and we understand that public administration and even private companies have a huge responsibility with the information that we are putting through internet and all the information that we are generating through all the kind of sensors that we have installed in our cities. So the deal is basically internet, the information that we are catching from it, it's determining how we approach to life, how we are visualizing the others, how we are understanding other cultures, other social phenomena, and we have to take into account that nowadays a huge part of the information that it's in internet, it's based in opinions, it's based in hypotheses, and they are no facts in the 90% of the blogs, 90% of the web pages. So our real concern is how our population is being influenced by all those kind of opinions, and how the digital citizenship should be protected and should be understood.
Because we have 2 points here. The first one you already mentioned is privacy, and this is a big issue in cities now. And the second one is liabilities, right? I know that your background is in law, and all these studies is going through the aspects of how to make laws or how to adapt our laws to fit with this new era of data management. So how do you see these?
I believe that one of the biggest problems that we are facing is accountability. In real life, I mean not our digital life, we have so many agencies, we have so many institutions that are protecting consumers, that are protecting citizens. For example, here in the case of Spain, we have an agency that try to protect us from publicity. They encourage companies to be fair, to not lie in their advertising, but they are also controlling the quality of the information that they are putting in disposal of the clients. But in internet, there is a totally new dimension. There are concerns about sovereignty. Here in the European Union, we have worked very, very hard in a very restrictive privacy law that, for example, makes that the browsers, that the servers should be in a European territory in order to protect it for other kind of access. But the deal is how a person or a company or a lobby or an interest group that it's putting in internet, that it's facilitating data that it's not real in order to improve an agenda, in order to have benefits from this misunderstanding of the community, can be controlled. And this is one of the biggest challenges that we are facing from. And here is where the idea of the public bank of data and the data broker born. The idea basically is to create a public agency that make accountable all the persons, all the companies, all the private administrations, universities, all the stakeholders that can be uploading information to the database.
So, summarizing, the best way to rule something is to have institution behind that, like they did it with the bank and money and I mean, so once you treat this as a system, it's easier to rule, right?
Yeah, the real challenge also by creating this kind of institutions is this idea of who protect us from our protector. And this is a huge topic that we are also dealing with, because when you create this kind of agency, this kind of public data bank, you are giving the public administration a huge power. You are allowing them to determine also this flux of information, the hierarchization, the use of the sources. So our idea basically is to generate an independent institution through a public-private partnership, and with a total independent board of directors. It's like a kind of model that implements the BBC or some kind of public news agencies in democratic countries.
And it can be global, right? I mean, it will be local, but it can have a global impact, because the problem that we are facing here in Barcelona is the problem that the world is facing about data, right?
Of course, and for example, we have previous experiences. Here in Barcelona, for example, we have created like, I believe that nowadays it's like 10 years ago. It's amazing how the time flows, and this project, it's called Barcelona Anti-Rumors. So this is a web page controlled by the City Hall of Barcelona that they are trying to offer information, offer data in order to fight with interested rumors created against communities, against citizens, against companies. So the public administration, in this case, they are offering data, they are offering factual data in order to inform the citizens, for example, in topics as, is the immigration affecting our welfare system? Are the immigrants collapsing our healthcare? So there are so many rumors, there are so many legends about that, so many interested speeches, but the administration is making public all these data. They are conducting a transparency policy in order to fight against that. But this system that has been interesting and has been a success during the last 10 years nowadays is not enough. We are facing from a huge wave of data. There is no way for the public administration to counteract any kind of rumor that it's spreading out in the city. And we are talking about a city with 1.8 million inhabitants. That it's really nothing.
Yeah,
if
when
we-
you come to China, India,
Yeah.
States, and it becomes much bigger. Thank you very much for your time with us today, and yeah, we hope to be covering very soon the opening of the public agents for data management here in Barcelona. And you, thank you very much for our first video to be with us. This is just the beginning of 2017 season for us. I will be traveling around the world discussing with you and TM Forum what's happening in smart cities. Thank you and see you in the next video.